this is how influence works. Like, this is how influence works. I used to work on political campaigns a lot. I used to live in Orange County, California, and I'd work on political campaigns, all different city council, Congress, like all this stuff. Okay. And that's what I was doing when I left for the first time to work for a Bitcoin startup. And one thing that I do think is funny in all this like government stuff is my old like Orange County friends, they honestly don't like text me about the Bitcoin like Trump headlines in the way that you would think they would. And so to be honest, I don't know how much the headlines are like breaking out into quote unquote back into like normie politics land. Like I'm not sure they are. Like I think it still is a little bit in the like, you know, the government is engaging with lots of niches all the time, and that's the whole thing, is that like only the people inside different coalitions ever hear the news, and it doesn't ever like really bubble up to the other part. There's a little bit of that happening. But and then to the thing of like, oh, you love the government now, like here's what I would say, like guys, the gray market circular economy, or even just like taking Bitcoin out of it for a second, farmers markets with fiat money, circular economies are not big enough to ever scale. Like that can't scale. That level of like freedom and fair trade and whatever can't scale. No one is going to be able, that concept will not get big enough to change the United States economy. And that's the same thing with Bitcoin. If it's only ever a circular economy among a small group of people, it won't ever be big enough to change the world. And so, like, one saying that I do enjoy repeating is like, fix the money, fix the world. And yeah, like by the world reserve country cementing that Bitcoin has value and is a big deal, every single day now, you can like compare Bitcoin and the dollar, Bitcoin and the dollar. Like, and the fact that it is a conversation is positive. And so I don't know. I just don't, that's how influence works. And I think it's positive that that conversation, you know, is happening.
Do you think people start accepting sats for things? Like, how do you think we get to hyper Bitcoinization? Like, what's Brian's take on like getting there? Because it's, you know, again, talking about nuance, once again, this is what is making me think about it, is you get a lot of people, again, an objection is, well, what do you mean? Like Bitcoin's worthless if there's no dollars. Like, what are you crazy people talking about? Like Bitcoin won't exist if the dollar doesn't exist. Obviously the answer, the easy answer is, well, yeah, you just accept sats for your house, or you like, guys, it's separate systems here. And do you think that's what it takes, or people all of a sudden you see a couple homes sold for sats? And because like that market has to break apart to a degree at some point, because like you were saying, you can't measure Bitcoin or any of these assets in this failing paper currency. Like it makes no sense. We don't even know if those are the prices in reality. We can get way down the rabbit hole on that, but is that how we get to start getting to hyper Bitcoinization eventually, when people just start accepting things of value for sats directly? Like, how does that look in your eyes?
Totally. I think it's hugely, yes, I think it's hugely important for Bitcoin to like be a method of payment. I think it's hugely important. I think on the pricing side, I think the number one way, as sitting here today, the best way to do it is priced in dollars, accepted in Bitcoin. Like I think priced in dollars, accepted in Bitcoin. And if you want to get aggressive as a company, then simply listing a different price, like Bitcoin price and then like fiat price, and you just charge the markup on the fiat price. I think that can work. I used to be way more passionate about that and really, really hammer that forward. That part I'm not as like married to or whatever. I'm more married to just like pricing and sats is too confusing currently. Right now, pricing and sats is straight up too confusing currently. So I don't think that's positive or helpful. I think accepting Bitcoin as a method of payment, hugely important. And the reason why it's hugely important is because it fundamentally separates it from stocks. Like that part, self-custody Bitcoin and accepting it as method of payment is what fundamentally keeps Bitcoin in this other weird bucket. It's what keeps it in the other weird bucket that you have to constantly be wrestling with. What is it and why is it important? What is it and why is it important? And so I do think I'm still hugely like very bullish on Bitcoin meetups and very bullish on like small businesses accepting Bitcoin. And what I would say on this is all the meetups across the country, I honestly believe your number one priority should be finding a small business that takes Bitcoin. I don't think it should be on total top line raising the amount of Bitcoiners that are coming yet until you find a location in your town that takes Bitcoin, because that compounds everything forward. And that's what takes meetups from having to be these like marketing events where you have to like push people there and push people there. And it's just like a hangout thing to where the business owner is already there all the time. And it becomes an evergreen thing that just is on in that town all the time. And so, yes, like I think that's how you grow it out city by city. And I do think it's hugely important like for that to happen, because then it's what allows all the personal finance kind of stuff to carry forward. Like the United States is the same as every other country in the world. There's a strong currency and a weak currency. The weak currency is mostly accepted like everywhere. And then you have pockets of businesses that are beginning to accept the hard currency, and that's happening. And then you have tools like Fold that allow you to manage your personal finances in both currencies. And you can withdraw and deposit both currencies in whatever way, you know, that your like life needs. And so that's, yeah, like I super passionate about that part.
I love that you segued into this of, you know, like kind of Fold what you guys are doing, and you guys are at the cutting edge of what's going on here. There's, you know, and whether it's the lending side, potentially, you know, maybe you guys someday do, you have the bill pay stuff. I think you were the first to do that, I believe. And so I would love to get into some of these things. Like I want to get your thoughts on what lending will be like just in general. And we talked on this briefly, but like, again, that can reduce sell pressure of Bitcoin. If people are lending against and using the crappy currency in order to live their life and just lending against their Bitcoin, but also we hear a lot of talk about capital gains, right? And then that could speed up the circular economy, but that also increases some sell pressure too. So I love your thoughts on where are we kind of headed? Like where do you see, just from your perch, again, you guys get a lot of data, things like that. Like where do you guys think things and are headed in terms of just the government? And I don't need a crystal ball, but whether it's capital gains or maybe some, you know, de minimis type of exemption, is it full capital gains that gets removed, how that affects things, and just lending against Bitcoin. So I'd love for you to unpack some of this for a few minutes, because I think this is obviously this epoch, you know, the next 4 years is going to be huge with a lot of these things, a lot of these big changes coming in the Bitcoin economy and just the economy in general.
If you want the answer to that question right there and you like that spicy clip, check it out here. Come on, we'll see you in there. But if you want the full interview in its entirety, all the spicy clips put together, and you're not going to want to miss it, believe me, then check that out here. Come on, we'll see you in there. Do it.